Good afternoon, everyone. This is Shaniqua Radford, and this is Radford Real Talk. We are so excited to have you today. This is actually the first podcast. This is kind of actually a test, but we're going to see how this goes. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are very excited to have you. This is like straight up impromptu, no planning, no nothing. This is actually kind of a test, and I just wanted to see how this thing sounds, how I sound. I'm a perfectionist, so this was actually challenging for me to come on air and not actually have a not a script, but have a plan. So kudos to me for that. Kudos. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Feels great. So I actually want to kind of introduce myself. I am Shaniqua Radford, and I actually am a licensed therapist, a mental health therapist, and I'm also a certified substance abuse counselor. I've been in the field now going on about 16 years, so I pretty much seen it, done it, worked with it, and I love what I do. It doesn't feel like work. And one of the reasons why I actually wanted to start a podcast was because I feel like, God put something in me that many people need to hear. And I feel that a person working one on one or in a group, that's great. I know he works through me with those people, but I feel like that still puts me in a box. And I feel like my voice needs to be heard, all over to help bring healing and help people find their purpose, man. And that's why I do what I do. And it's finally time. I finally wanted to do this thing. It's been on my heart for a long time. And I actually have been driving in the car with the equipment in the car for quite some time. And finally, my husband is like, it's time. And I came home from work one day and everything was all set up. So kudos to my husband, the one and only Mr. Radford, who will also be joining me for a few podcasts as well. This is a little something we're going to do together. We're going to have different topics about some of everything, whether it's substance abuse, mental health, reentry. I'm really passionate about reentry and helping those that have been incarcerated and trying to get back on their feet. So we're going to talk about everything, seasons of life, whatever that comes to mind. This is going to be like a therapeutic for me as well, I believe, because my brain is always filled with stuff. I could be watching National Geographic and my mind starts just jumping different places, thinking about life and different, gems of wisdom. And I mean, it's very rare from this thing called a brain of mine to just be idle, which is a good thing. And sometimes it's not always a good thing. So I have to be very intentional about what I watch, what I do, and also making sure I always have something to write on. But I'm not really, I'll do journaling sometimes when it's on me. But I think that this podcast is really going to be a journal for me as, I have topics that I want to talk about or something that's on my mind, like today. So I guess, so Radford Real Talk, I call it that because that's my style. That's what I do. I keep it real. I don't know any other way to do it. Even as a therapist, my style is raw, is real. It's, definitely a motivator. I'm going to challenge you, push you, and just, inspire in whatever way that I can. I call myself, or I've been called, the soul surgeon. And this is something that has just always stuck with me. The first thing that I was called was the destiny pusher because I would try to push people to their destiny. The second thing is the soul surgeon. And I was sitting here before I got on the air and I'm like, okay, let me just kind of break down what that is. And so let's start with soul. Soul is, we're spirit inside this flesh that we have. If it is a spirit, and our soul, it can be sick. It gets, with life stuff happening, and with whether it's people hurting us, traumas we've been through, things of that nature. Our soul can get sick, and sometimes it needs to be purged. So we have physical pain where if we fall and hit something, bruise something, break something, and it triggers the brain and we feel pain, But our soul hurts, our emotional hurts. It's as painful, or if not more painful than physical pain. And, this is one of the reasons why I feel like that soul surgeon fits, because I dissect you. I dissect you when you're sitting right there in front of me, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it. But the dissection is actually self-reflection, where you will begin to dissect yourself based on the things that I prompt you to think about, talk about, reflect on. And as far as the surgeon part, we know what that is. That is, a person, a professional that, like, pretty much they dissect, they readjust, they repair, and that's my goal. That's my goal with this podcast. I want to be able to repair, readjust, and just help to bring healing. There's different forms and different types of ways that healing can happen. It's, whether it's your spiritual, whether you go to church and you read your word, and that can happen. Absolutely. I do believe that. However, I do believe that faith without works is dead. I'm really, really big on that, because healing is not necessarily just going to fall in your lap. You have to do something. And I definitely, I'm pray, I do that. But sometimes, God requires us to do the work. It's a partnership. That's what I always say. It's a partnership with He and ourselves to make things happen. Now, of course, He's capable of all things. We know that. But in order to make some of these things happen, He wants to see us move. He wants to see us, walk by faith while we're doing things. And, my life has actually been, and we'll talk more about that. My life has been a true example of that. And I say nothing has ever come easy for me. But you know what? I see in hindsight, why and how and what He's molded me into because of that. And it was all for a purpose. And that's why I feel like I need to talk about, just life stuff, man, because there's so many of us that are out there discouraged. We're afraid to go to therapy because we're ashamed. We don't trust anybody. And hopefully this will open people's hearts to, be open to talking to somebody and just throwing up and getting it out, because, people pull on us all the time and we have to do things for ourselves. So that's another reason why I wanted to create this podcast. And time is now, and I finally jumped up here and decided to go for it, no planning at all. I don't even know how to work this thing all the way, but hey, the Radford Real Talk is raw and it's real. So as I'm learning, I hope you guys just continue to tune in and support me. And I thank you for those that have pushed me and helped me to, bring this dream to life. And I'm definitely looking forward to working with you all here soon. So once again, thank you. And I look forward to talking to you all. We're going to do some calls that will be coming in and all that good stuff as well. And soon, we're going to get this thing on and popping like we need to. So Radford Real Talk, I'm not even going to have a set schedule of when I'm going to have new stuff come on. My life has always been striving to be perfect, but I've learned how to just chill. So I'll say you'll see when I will have another show. I thank you and have a great day on purpose. Peace.